Hello, hello, hello. Hi, friends, and welcome to Believe in the Dallas Cowboys with your best friends, Jeff and Jesse. Hi, I'm Jeff Cavanaugh. He, of course, is former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
And most days, former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holley would be the analyst because he's a former Dallas Cowboy. Jesse Holley, that would make sense to be the analyst. Welcome to Draft Week, where maybe Jeff gets a turn. Maybe Jeff gets a turn. We brought you to our friends at Bet Online, your number one source for all your summer sports, MLB, golf, NBA, NHL, playoff stuff, all the latest stats, news, and scores available. To follow your favorite teams, get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. Happy Draft Week, Jesse Holley.
Yes, this is your Christmas. This is your second Christmas.
Yeah. The draft is risen.
Yeah.
R-I-Z-Z. I don't know that word, but I know that people use that word. I don't know what it means.
That was good. That was good.
I wish I had a rim shot sound effect.
Man, that was good. That was good. But no, this is your week, man. And here's the one thing that I can humbly and confidently say about me. I ain't built for the draft. This is I don't pretend to be. I don't try to give mocks. I don't do any of that. I defer to people like you. I defer to our brethrens in the drafting game. The Godfather Brian Broaddus, who helped start your career, who is the person who got you into the building. Yeah. Guys like Dane Brugler. This is not my season. Now, I start when the draft ends. Okay? When the draft ends and teams are now being formed, now I'm in. Now I'm back. But I can humbly say this is just not my season. And so I'm thankful and privileged and blessed from the draft gods above to have a partner like you, to have a friend like you who we can call on and to give draft coverage. And so as the Cowboys are 2 days away from going into this is when you think about it, and I'm not trying to oversell this thing. This is a huge draft. Like, this is one of the most important drafts that the Cowboys will have had or have in the last 10 years because of the so many needs that they have on their football team right now. And this draft lends to meet some of those needs, whether that's offensive lineman or linebacker or running back or what have you. But the Cowboys 24 pick, is there at any point or any scenario that you can see the Cowboys getting off the track of what they need to fill and maybe taking a sharp left turn at the fork in the road and saying, if a guy like Michael Penix Jr. is available at 24, they take a quarterback?
Ooh. I guess I would be surprised but not shocked, because you're just at that point. I think we're all guessing at that point. I think Dak is ultimately going to be the quarterback, and that he's going to get extended, and that is the way that it's going to go. But because of where they are in terms of Jerry screwed it all up with his all-in words and all that, when that was obviously silly, because they were actually all in last year and the year before. And now they don't want to be as much because they want to clean things up to give themselves a shot going forward. I guess it's not impossible, but we would have to know what I don't think anybody knows, which is out there. Are they seriously considering moving on, or are they doing Cowboy stuff? and getting ready to extend Dak, and he'll be the guy for the next run. I wouldn't be surprised, first of all, if Michael Penix is available at number 24. I guess I would be somewhere between surprised and shocked if they used a first-round pick on a quarterback with all of their needs, because I do think that ultimately they're doing Cowboys stuff, and they're not going to walk away from a really good NFL quarterback.
And that's great. If we look at the Cowboys, I mentioned earlier, they have a lot of needs, like a lot of needs. Of course, Tyron Smith gone. He is in New York right now. He'll be the left tackle for the New York Jets this upcoming football season. You have Tyler Smith, who, by all accounts, I shouldn't say all accounts, by Jesse Holley's account, I think he's staying at left guard. I think he is poised to be one of the great left guards of our game for the next 5 to 7 years. You don't have a center. You have the one or two best right guards in the game in Zach Martin, but who's getting a little long in the incisor? You know,
I think this is probably it for him. I think this is probably his last year.
He's getting a little long in the tooth.
Yeah.
And then you have the wild card at right tackle when it comes to Terrence Steele. The Cowboys have to shore up this offensive line. In your mock drafts or in your predictions of what the Cowboys will do at 24, what offensive lineman do you see there? What offensive lineman is the best fit if he is sitting at 24 for the Cowboys?
It's interesting because it's a really, 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 really good year for offensive line. But I also think that where it's really, 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 really good probably runs out right before the Cowboys pick.
Ooh.
I think that there are, let me double check this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 offensive tackles that I like at number 24. And I think all 6 are going. It's going to be a weird year. There might be, I bet there will be 25 offensive players taken in the first round. I think it'll be 25 and 7 defenders. I think that's the way it's going to go. And a bunch of them are offensive linemen. And so when I look at all the mock drafts, the name that I see the most is Tyler Guyton, Oklahoma, offensive tackle, because he's the name after it runs out. And so he's also the name that worries me, but I was scared of the Tyler Smith pick. So get ready. Jeff's going to be wrong again. They're going to pick Tyler Guyton, and I'm going to be like, man, I don't know if he's ready to play NFL football. He's a toolsy dude that's really big and athletic that they got to teach to play offensive line, and I'm going to be terrified to play him as a rookie, and then he'll be good. And he'll be like, Jeff, you're an idiot again. So like that's the name you see the most, because I think it lines up with how the draft likely goes, that the guys that you feel better about as NFL rookies are gone, and then the Cowboys get to the clock. Everybody in the world knows they need an offensive lineman. Everybody in the world knows they need a left tackle. And so that's just the next name for a lot of people. He's not my favorite there. My favorite would be Jordan Morgan, the left tackle at Arizona. But that's one of those things where the draft is, this is what the draft is, right? The draft is Oklahoma's right tackle, Tyler Guyton, is 6'8". He's got long arms, and he's a wonderful athlete. Jordan Morgan played left tackle for Arizona. He played 100 million games in college, and he is really, really good. His arms are shorter. He's shorter. He's not a premier athlete. He's just a really good college left tackle with really good tape. And so what do NFL teams do? They swing for the fences. But those, I think, are a couple of names. There's 6 names that I like at offensive tackle above all of that, and I'll give them to you really quick. And you can't have most of them for sure, and some of them we'll see. Notre Dame's Joe Alt is going to go in the top 10. Fashanu, the Penn State left tackle, is going to go in the top 15. Troy Fatanu at Washington, Talisi Fuaga. There's a lot of Fs. Fatanu, Fuagu, they're going to go probably before the Cowboys pick. J.C. Latham, the Alabama offensive tackle, is going to go before the Cowboys pick. And then the wild card is Amarius Mims, the Georgia offensive tackle, who's only played 8 college games, but God, he looks good, and I would love to have him. And I wonder if he'll be available and if they would pick him if he if he is available. So yeah, that's the offensive tackle class. There's a
Okay,
bunch.
so I
what
want
you
to
feel good about are going to be gone, probably.
I want to do this. I want to put a quick pin in draft, and I want to go inside the drafting mind, right? Because we're talking about offensive linemen. I want you to give our fan base, if you can, a Cliff Notes version of what makes a good left tackle. What are the traits from the scouting eye? Are scouts looking at it saying, okay, this is what makes a good left tackle? Go.
I think the fun part about scouting players is if you watch football, if you're a football fan, you can do it. It's not the most complicated thing. What you're watching is, okay, this guy's playing left tackle. The guy in front of him on a pass play, does he get around him? Why or why not? On a run play, is he able to move people? Why or why not? So, what you're looking for is, does he have the feet to stay in front of people out in space? And does he technically lean forward too much? It all comes down to he won or lost on this rep and why. And so the things that matter for offensive linemen is athletic ability, strength, technique, balance. You would love to have length. NFL teams are obsessed with how long the arms are.
Why? Explain why the long arms are important for an offensive tackle.
Because the guys that you're blocking, think about you and a child or a nephew. The video. You put your hand on somebody's head and they're swinging their arms and they can't hit you. It's pretty useful, isn't it? If I'm an offensive lineman and you can't get your hands to me, but I can get my hands to your chest, that's good. That works. And you can mask it to an extent, but there is a reason that NFL teams, when you look at offensive tackles, for instance, the magic number is 34. 33 is doable. 34 is the magic number. If an offensive lineman has a 34-inch arm, you probably won't hear people talk about, well, you could really move him to guard, but anything under that, and that's when you start hearing those names. And that's what I worry about with Tyler Smith, because I agree with you. He should be a guard. The guy who trains him, the great Duke Manyweather, was on with Voch Lombardi, our buddy. He don't want him to move. The things that make him great at guard don't make him great at tackle. He's great at guard. Here's the problem. I just took you through the scenario where we're going to pick an offensive tackle that we don't feel great about, that needs some seasoning or is coming up short in some way that you would like to have a prospect be good at. Or guess what's easier to find? A guard. So, there's a possibility that the Cowboys get tempted because they go, he's our best left tackle. I can find a guy to play left guard. Finding a guy to play left tackle is harder. And so I worry that they put themselves in a spot where they're going to feel like they have to move Tyler Smith to get their best 5 on the field. And I hate it because you'll be worse at left guard. You'll be worse at left tackle. They put themselves in a tight spot with what they're going to do on the offensive line. And don't be surprised if they figure out offensive tackle later, because it does line up to do the Travis Frederick again and pick a center late in round 1 that you feel better about than you feel about the left tackle guys.
And you made a great point right there when you're talking about the draft, the premium picks, the first round pick, the second round pick. That's what everyone gets excited for. That's where all the viewings and the ratings come in. It's all on TV, right? Like those first day draft picks are the ones that we talk about. But as you and I both know, the ones that complete the roster, the ones that help formulate a football team are your later round picks, are your 4th, 5th, 6th, and sometimes 7th round picks. Those are the guys who formulate your roster and who fill in those missing holes in your rosters. Give me some names for the Cowboys that they could possibly be looking at, maybe late 3rd round, 4th round, and beyond, that you can kind of see like, you know what? If they pick this guy up, maybe he's not an impact player right now, but this could be a guy that the Cowboys get him. He can play some special teams. He can be a rotational guy, and he can help formulate this team's roster come August.
So I think for that spot, you're mostly going to be talking about I think linebackers, because we heard from Stephen Jones the other day that they want to play with 3 linebackers instead of 3 safeties, which isn't true because it doesn't happen in today's NFL. But if you're planning to put more linebackers on the field, well, you need more linebackers. And there's absolutely a possibility that they go early on a linebacker. Like they might take one at 24. I doubt it, but they could. But they're looking at the guys that are the very, very top linebackers in the draft that could go in the second round. Edgerrin Cooper, A&M, Junior Colson, Michigan, Peyton Wilson, NC State. Those are the top guys. And then they also visited a bunch of guys later. I think the guys that have the best chance to contribute to the Cowboys that'll be picked on, say, day 3 are going to be dudes that play either linebacker or running back. Whatever spot doesn't get picked early in the first 3 rounds, they still need help at those 2 spots. And so it could very well come later. My random day 3 linebacker that I really like, because I just went off of their visitors and went and watched them all. There's a dude named Jordan McGee at Temple, and late round picks. Guess what we do? We find the premier athletes that could use a little seasoning.
I thought you were going to say Cedric Gray from North Carolina.
Oh, yeah, the great Cedric Gray from North Carolina. Yep, there's your day 3 linebacker. Go Tar Heels. Yeah, because they're going to they got to find a linebacker somewhere in this draft, at least one, probably 2, that are going to make the roster and play NFL football. They got to find a running back that's going to make the roster and play NFL football. And it's just a matter of, because right now you have 3 picks that are relevant. The first 2 days are the relevant picks, right? On day 3, you're right. If you go to Super Bowl champions, I can pull you their good players that they got late.
Mm-hmm.
Deron Bland, 5th round. That's big.
Yeah. That's
where you make a difference. You want to hit early, and when you can find some random ones late and get that right, hell yeah, that's lovely. But they got 3 picks that they're going to think and hope can contribute as a rookie, which is being optimistic, honestly, if you look at their last 5 years. But what are those 3 picks? Is it O-line, running back? Is it O-line, running back, linebacker? Because then we are going to be looking at other spots that you still need stuff later in the draft that's going to play on your team as a rookie, and you can't bank on it. And that's why this draft is, they got to do such a good job. They have got to nail this one, because they need to get way more than they normally do, which is asking a lot, but that's where they are.
All right, man. Anything else you got?
Let me think.
Did you do a mock draft? Did you do a mock?
I haven't done this is my official guesses, but I have on the YouTube channel. I've run through simulators and done all sorts of things. I think chalk would be offensive lineman, linebacker, running back for the first 3 picks. My prediction is they're trading down. That's my prediction. Everything about where they are and the picks they have screams to trade down. You got to have somebody answer the phone. You got to have somebody who wants to come up for something, et cetera, et cetera. But my prediction is they've tried to find a way to get their 4th round pick back that they don't have, or a 3rd round pick by moving down. And let's just throw out this. My wild cards, what could steer them away from what their plan is what if the right defensive lineman, a pass rusher, Byron Murphy, the Texas D tackle, he ain't going to make it. But I'm trying to figure out what could make this look different than the way we think it's going to look. And it's kind of tough. Maybe the right corner, but I think that would be the top 2 guys and they'll be gone. Maybe the right D tackle, maybe Johnny Newton, Illinois, maybe. Is there a wide receiver that could make them change what the plan is? Maybe. I just hate that they seem like they have to be so locked into their plan and their needs over what are we looking at when they're on the clock. But here we go. And let's hope that they crush it. How about that? Let's hope they crush it.
All right. Well, the Cowboys are on the clock. The draft will start this Thursday on your local networks, NFL Network, all that kind of stuff. You heard it here first. From the draft guru, Jeff Cavanaugh, and your boy Jay Holley. My season starts after the draft, so I can't wait to that. I can't wait till we get to those things, but we're so thankful for that. All right, man, for Bet Online, for our partners at Bet Online and all the other good people over there, those places, for Believe in the Cowboys.
He doesn't know how to dismount.
He's Jeff Cavanaugh. I'm Jesse Holley.
He doesn't know how to dismount.
And remember, you never know what anyone is going through. So be kind to everyone.
Eliminate the contingencies.